Testing the myths of golf course maintenance. Is it fact or fescue? A device called the Stimpmeter made its official debut into golf in 1936, but began its official use by the USGA in 1978. It has been an invaluable tool to superintendents. But what do golfers really know about the Stimpmeter? We were curious, so we asked both private club golfers and public course golfers some questions about the Stimpmeter. First question, what is a Stimpmeter?
That's a device that measures how fast the ball is rolling on a putting green.
Well, I think I've heard that it measures the slope or the ball speed.
I've heard of a Stimpmeter. I don't know exactly what it is. I know it's a tool to use to measure the speed of the greens.
It decides how far a putt will roll on any type of green.
And the expert says,
the Stimpmeter is a 36-inch aluminum device with a V-groove with a notch in one end where a ball is placed, and then one end of that Stimpmeter is lifted up from the ground, and when it reaches a 20-degree angle with the ground, that ball will release and then roll a distance away from that Stimpmeter.
okay, that was an easy one. The golfers seem to have a general idea what it is, but do they know how it measures green speed?
Well, from what I've seen, it's on an incline. They drop a ball and it rolls a certain distance, and somehow they calculate then the speed of the green, and they number what, 1 through 15 or something like that?
No, not really. Let a ball roll and see how far it goes.
Yeah, it goes up and down basically. Just goes up and down on a lever basically. It just moves up and down. You drop the ball on it, it rolls. They test the speed of how far it goes based on the height of the meter.
I know they take the ball and they roll it. I've seen them do it, but as far as how they pace out I don't know.
It's a bar. The ball's put on. There's a stop on it. As soon as it reaches a certain height, releases the ball, goes down the green, then you do the opposite from that end, you come back the other way.
The golfers seem to have a sense of how a Stimpmeter works, but let's hear the technical answer.
And how we use the Stimpmeter is we use 3 golf balls. We roll those balls off of the Stimpmeter in one direction, and we try to find a fairly level portion of the putting green to do this. We take a measurement of those golf balls, an average of those 3. We turn around and then roll in the opposite direction and take an average of those 3 rolls. And so it's an average of the averages, so to speak, and that is our final number, whether it's 9 feet, 10 feet, 11 feet, and that's how we get to a Stimpmeter reading.
Okay, so if we tell the golfers the greens are rolling 10 today, what does that mean to them?
It means to me a tad slow for here, a tad fast for a public golf course.
It means they're moderately fast. Maybe not so much for a private club, but most places that's reasonably fast.
I believe that's fairly good fast green, good normal green.
That means they're extremely fast.
They're medium. 14 would be fast, 10 would be probably about average for most public courses, I would guess.
Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, they're rolling at the top of the Stimpmeter measurement.
The golfers seem a little undecided on that one. Do they know what the purpose of the Stimpmeter is?
Basically just to give you an idea how fast the greens are, and probably greenskeepers need to know how fast they're rolling.
From what I understand is to basically gauge the speed of a green compared to other greens.
Well, I would think part of it would be where they can put the pin, because at certain parts of the green you wouldn't want a certain type of speed and so forth. So that would play a very important part. The type of players you have coming, some are fast, want fast greens, some want slow.
Well, because they want to have consistent greens, so they're trying to establish a baseline for consistency.
And the answer is?
The original purpose of the Stimpmeter is to provide turfgrass managers the ability to achieve a greater level of consistency of green speeds across the golf course. We have microclimates, different greens in different settings across a golf course, and sometimes those green speeds are going to vary accordingly. The golfing public at large, there's a lot of misconceptions with not completely understanding what the Stimpmeter does and what those readings even mean. For the most part, golfers don't truly know what a reading means. Numbers start getting bounced around quite regularly, and more often than not, particularly if you're at a private club, you're going to play as a guest somewhere else, perhaps in the member guest. Well, it's not uncommon for us in the industry to peak green speeds and peak the golf course in general for certain special events. So if you're only playing other golf courses during their peaked conditions, you're not getting a realistic look at what that golf course plays on a daily basis. Yet you come back to your golf course and play it throughout the season, you know, the day after aeration, the day after a heavy rain, and throughout the year, and that's just not a fair way to look at green speeds at all. An average Stimpmeter reading in 1976 and 77 was a 6.5, so 6.5 feet, and that was average. Today the average is probably closer to 9.5 feet or 10 on most daily play golf courses. We've got to a point where speeds are generally too fast for the majority of the golfing public in certain venues because of that need, added pressure to continue to increase that number when it's not always appropriate or even sustainable.
So ultimately, what is the perfect green speed?
What were they? 11? I think between 11 and 12.
I like anywhere between a 10 and a 12. I like a faster green speed.
I like probably 11.
You know, I like fast greens, but I don't know what that would measure on the Stimpmeter.
I would say for the average golfer around 9.
Well, I like them pretty quick, so I'd say maybe an 11. I like them quick.
Every golf course has maybe optimum and ideal green speeds, but there's no perfect speed for all golf courses. To further complicate matters, each particular golf course will have optimum or ideal green speeds at different times of the year based on environmental conditions and your geographic location in the country. But it's not a speedometer, and that's what it commonly gets misused as. And again, there is no perfect green speed, and courses generally maintain their greens too fast.
We'd like to thank the USGA Green Section and the golfers for their participation.